Okay, he's raising a finger.
Good evening. That was the most horrible intro that we could have started with. Oh, okay, he's raising a finger. That's a great start to the podcast. I take off mute and this asshole is talking. Thank you,
Hey, that's the
Highsight, for
beauty
making
of
it
Audacity.
interesting.
We'll fix it in post, folks. This didn't happen.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone, and good evening. I am your humble guest host, the Norgoz. Nakiato is not with us this week. It is good to see each and every one of you. I am joined by my humble guest slash co-hosts, Mr. Phyrus, Highsight, Cage, and Damien. Let's start off with introducing ourselves, and what are you fuckers drinking? I'm drinking some Sam Adams Summer Ale. Drink that shit, bitch.
My name is Phyrus. I am a YouTube streamer and a Twitch streamer and a father of 2 children, one of which just decided to walk in. Hi! Roar! There we go.
Dear.
This is thing number 1. Yeah, so I've been streaming mostly on YouTube this week. It's pretty interesting. It's set up pretty well. I'm figuring out continuing streaming over there for a little bit, off and on with between that and Twitch. Yeah, and I'm drinking this tonight. Not yet, but I will be soon. Yes.
Release the Kraken!
The Kraken spiced rum. That's actually very good for those of you who are rum drinkers. It's actually a very, very good rum. I would say it's better than Captain Morgan's, and I think it's actually a little bit cheaper and not too much more.
Oh, well, fuck you, because I'm drinking Captain Morgan's tonight.
Yeah, you know what? You got. Obviously, you have a little captain in you, cabin boy. All right.
I do. Wow. I can't dispute it. Drinking Captain Morgan, I got a little Captain me. Fuck. Okay, my name is Highsight, and I am a streamer and been delving a bit into the YouTubes, and I do a show called Indie Insights every week. I check out a ton of indie games in development, get up, we stream them live, I get the developers in on it, and we try to give them all the feedback we can. And after that, we put it on YouTube, and everybody's happy. Basically, I've been streaming for about a year now almost, which is pretty awesome. Been loving it. And I'm drinking Captain Coke. 100 proof, baby. Although I should probably be drinking Kraken. Because that's
Yes.
delicious.
Yes, you should.
I'm Cage. I'm a streamer, gamer. Primarily this week, it's just been playing GTA 5 and a little bit of Killing Floor 2. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm a cosplayer. I just got a new Dremel tool, so I can start working on some new cosplays. So yay! Today I am drinking again more Rumpelmann's Peppermint Schnapps, and let's hope it doesn't screw me up like I did last week. I didn't pregame this week, so
Oh.
we're good.
Okay.
Oh, good. And then you have some catching up to do.
I know.
I'm Damien, and I'm a gamer musician, and I also do a little bit of cosplaying. I play video game and anime music, and this week I am drinking Crispin hard apple cider, and then like some sample sizes of Dr. McGillicuddy's apple pie.
Ah! Dr. McGillicuddy's!
McGillicuddy's! It's the cure all that cures most.
Is it a catatonic?
Yeah, the cat atomic. Yeah. And some Goldschlager. I'll try that out as well. So, yay.
Okay.
Goldschlager. Here's what aids you. 100% of the time, 60% of the time.
Yep. All right. And Phyrus is eating half of an animal of some sorts.
It's a fillet of fish, so yeah, it's some kind of animal.
Is that from McDonald's? Do we need to cue the filet of fish song?
No. We'll get
Good.
a copy of Mark.
Good.
Yep,
Okay.
we do.
All right. So
They won't let that one go.
there we go, guys. This week we have a lot of things that are going on in the news, and we have a lot of really good content for you guys today. We have a few stories that are I couldn't decide which one's the big one. I think for what we're going to start off with here today, though, is going to be our DirectX 12 story, and it's a sort of a tech update. For those of you who are not aware, DirectX 12 is coming soon. I'm not sure, I don't know how big you guys are into the gaming industry. DirectX is basically a piece of software that allows certain features within the game to happen. You know, your sound, your graphics. It's kind of like the bare bones, so to speak. Without DirectX, you can't really uh, do. You can't play some games at all. So you know, like you'll install a game through Steam or somewhere, and sometimes it'll say we're checking your DirectX, even though you've already for sure you've already got the most up to date DirectX. It's doing it by default because if it doesn't do that, and you don't have the most up to date DirectX, you can't play the game. So
Wrong.
I'm going to stab you in the face, you penis wrinkle.
It's got to be the
Oh.
specific version they developed it with. That's why. There's a shit ton of different revisions they do with DirectX at all times.
Whatever. Okay.
I'm a programmer. This shit bothers me.
He's a programmer. It shit bothers him. So, anyway, my point still remains, though. You have to have you still have to have the certain driver, the proper driver is what I'm getting at. Whatever. So, we're going to talk about today is DirectX 12 unlocks more PC power from integrated GPUs. An integrated GPU is basically here comes high side. I'm just hearing it. Everything I'm going to say now. Wrong.
I need a good laugh tonight.
So,
Oh, God.
an integrated GPU is basically a motherboard graphics card, something that's directly integrated into your motherboard. Usually, they're not that great. They're just the basics to like play videos, some minimal to medium video games on lower settings. So can't do a lot with them. Now, Microsoft has detailed a new DirectX 12 API feature that can provide an increase in game performance. And it's using the integrated GPUs alongside the dedicated graphics cards. Now, how many of you guys have heard of before? Years ago, AMD had what was called, I think it was had this whole thing. They're like, oh, make a Dragon PRC or something, but I think it actually called it Dragon Crossfire or something like that. It's basically you could crossfire two ATI graphics cards with the onboard integrated graphics card as long as it was compatible. So this is a concept that's been around for a long time. So I'm actually excited to see this being put into play in something that's more wide, more of a to today's standards. A little bit is going to impact something that's more than just ATI cards. We've seen some footage from DirectX 12 in Final Fantasy. What is it? Type 0? Not Type 0. The newest Final Fantasy is coming out. The one has the girl Sid. What is it? 15? 15?
15.
15. Thank you.
Yep.
And it looks amazing. What is it? Like 63 million pixels per inch or something like that?
Yeah. That was they released this awesome tech demo. It's not actually related to a Final Fantasy game, but they call it like they have this ongoing series of videos that they're showing for whenever they release a big tech demo, and they just called this one "Witch Chapter 0 Cry," which I thought it looked mind-blowing. Everything that I saw, I thought for sure was pre-rendered, and then they're like, okay, so we're gonna pause it. We're just gonna move the camera around a little bit, and hey, look, it's not pre-rendered. It's like, what? It looked amazing.
Yeah, they were able to change the shadows, the lighting, all over the place, and you could see even like with individual hairs on her head, like the light shading changed just with that. I mean, it was amazing to see to see the performance of DirectX 12. It was also really interesting to see the performance of 4 NVIDIA Titans put together in one box. So
yeah, that too. They did preface it with that. It's like, this is the computer it's running on. There are 4 Titans in here, by the way.
Yeah, when we turn this computer on, the lights are going to dim, but that's not us doing that. That's the actual computer drawing from the grid. So you know.
You know, Seattle might lose power for a little while, but this tech demo is important, you understand.
It's important.
It's very important. If only they could have done that during the... Never mind, I'm not going to bring that up. So anyway, what I was going to bring up with that, because we've seen some footage firsthand, what types of processing improvements or this could open up a lot of doors, not just this could be the start of like a revolution. What type of expectations do you guys have for this type of technology, and what do you want to see maybe added into it or some additional features or optional features that could be implemented with the new DirectX 12?
Just by reading the article, they brought up a couple interesting ideas. Like you announced at the beginning, being able to integrate the power of your integrated graphics card with your added on graphics card. It's not going to give you a huge bonus, but it's going to be able to incorporate a little bit more of the power that's basically latent at this point. Like they were saying before, your integrated GPUs aren't huge. They'll run, they'll do what they need to do, but if you have a graphics card, you're basically disabled. So it's hardware in your case that's not being used at all. So if they could harness the power of that, even though it's a little bonus, it's a bonus, and it's not wasted money as far as what you've spent. Another thing they hinted at in the article is the fact that with these types of adapters, like being able to use two different GPUs, which obviously your integrated card is, that it may be possible to SLI combination two different types of cards. So there's a possibility you could have an NVIDIA card and an AMD card in your case and be able to utilize them both. This would be a huge improvement for PC gamers, where, like for instance, just recently I stepped up with my tax refund, and I bought a new card. I got a 960, which was replacing a 560 Ti. So it was a huge increase in processing power and graphics power. But after I got my new card, my old 560 is a complete piece of trash. It's useless to me at this point. I kept it around for a couple weeks to make sure my new card wasn't going to fizzle out on me. But it'd be great if I could keep it in my case, as long as my power supply could handle it. If DirectX 12 would allow you to SLI the combination of those, it'd be great. I mean, the 560 is like 3 years old technology, but it was still a functional card. It's still able to run most recent games in at least medium settings. So it's not like, going back to a phonograph. It's still somewhat recent technology. So if we could do that, just think, it wouldn't be so much of a pain in the pocket to try to reach up to a top tier new gen card when you can maybe pick something that was a year old and still get the performance bonus of having that card plus your old card together.
That brings up a excuse me. For some people that are streamers, that are YouTubers, that are content creators for video games, some of them will use a secondary card or a secondary computer for processing all their data, and usually it comes down to an actual graphics card that does most of the work, or video card, graphics card, video card, same difference, basic same difference, whatever. Don't shut up, Highside. I see it in your eyes. Leave me alone. I love you, man. All right, so I think that is a possibility here. When you were talking about it, I didn't think about it before, but it brought that to mind that as a streamer, I would love to have that as a possibility to implement that on my system, where I could have an older card that isn't really good for anything today that would very well works just fine for processing some basic video footage that that's basically it's I don't know, I'd use the term post processing necessarily, but it wouldn't be nearly as what's the word,
it'd be
taxing.
Splitting the work. Yeah, it'd be splitting the work.
Yeah, it would be so much easier. It make it so much easier on your system as a whole. I think that would be great if that can be done.
One big thing with the processing of video data, particularly for us streamers, is a lot of that right now is all handled on your actual processor, not on your video card. However, NVIDIA recently introduced the NVIDIA encoder, which makes your graphics card act as a capture card. And that is actually currently implemented in OBS, but the only downside is when you're using that, your video card gets bogged down real bad, so you got to turn down your graphics settings. So it's a question of which one you can sacrifice the most, I suppose. But that's an interesting push towards having functionality. I mean, that didn't need to be there. They decided to finally investigate it, and it's pretty cool that they realize that there is a market for people who want to record their video games live. So I think it's a question of how far they're willing to go with that. And now that some of the burden of the processing through DirectX 12 can be taken off of the video card by the motherboard, I think there's a lot of potential for streamers such as us to have a little bit more in our game while we're capturing for streaming. It's pretty cool. But overall, with DirectX 12, what I've seen across the board, tons of frame rate improvement. From what I've seen on all of the benchmarks I've looked at, other people running, it looks like it's across the board frame rate improvements everywhere. And not just small ones that you would get only through the integrated graphics boost, but I'm talking big frame rate improvements. Some games that ran about, or benchmarks that ran about 20 FPS, suddenly people are reporting getting like 50, 60. That's pretty insane. So it's amazing the fact that not only have they managed to up the hell out of the graphical fidelity, but at the same time they've managed to give us substantial performance boosts. It's kind of awesome as hell. And I gotta tell everybody right now, when you're done listening to this, go look up which Chapter Zero Cry, which shows Square Enix's tech demo of it. I can't tell you how beautiful that looks. It's not much. It's really just a little teaser. But bearing in mind what you're seeing is all rendered in real time, and being able to just look at the character, you can see their face, like their facial tics in their entirety. You can see the pores on their skin. You can see like little wet spots where she was crying or whatever. It's absolutely insane how realistic it looks. But at the same time, I wonder if it's something that people would even notice most of the time while playing a game. Cinematics, hell yeah, that'll be great for cinematics. But while you're playing a game, your camera's usually zoomed out from characters. You're usually, unless you're like in first person. If it's a third person game, you're usually all zoomed out, and mainly the environment takes the main focus, whereas little things such as facial tics might not even really be visible from how far away the camera is from the person who might be making them. So I'm sure it'll make beautiful environments. The lighting system looks 0 to none. Lighting is absolutely beautiful. But I do wonder if a lot of the effort that's going to be put into making a higher graphical fidelity game is going to be lost on the fact that you're not going to be focused in on a lot of these really cool enhancements.
I guess
another big thing with DirectX 12 is the way that they're offering a different way to process it, which does multi-threading much better. Sorry, I've got an argument going on in the hallway. Some of the increased performance that Highside was talking about is the fact that the way that DirectX 11 right now works is if you have a multi-core system or a multi-core, it will overload the first core and then split the excess work amongst your extra cores. So with DirectX 12, just the way that it handles the work, it actually spreads out the work more evenly amongst your cores, so that you're not going to get the peak first and then get the overload off the other ones. So you'll have better performance not only with your graphics but with the actual game moving itself, because that's not handled by the graphics card.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. DirectX does encompass far more than the graphics card. It absolutely does come into play how it handles the pipelining of your processor as well. And that is, as I was saying, is probably what you can attribute so much to these across-the-board performance enhancements. What I think, I've been noticing something. They always say that is it the odd numbers? No, it's the even numbers. They always say the even numbers of Windows OSs are the better ones. 98 was better than 95, and
oh yeah,
so forth. So I'm feeling like maybe the same thing is true with DirectX. I won't say DirectX 11 was bad, but no one really cared. But with 12, it's just such an improvement over 10 and 11. But a lot of people still just use 10 because 11 didn't have much. So I think it might be very similar with DirectX 12.
11 had better shading.
It did, but at the cost of performance. That was the biggest problem. Was 11's performance was not nearly as spot on as 10's. Much like how Vista's performance wasn't as good as 7's.
Maybe that's why it's probably because 14 Final Fantasy 14 is moving to 11, and they're probably doing that because it's been out for a while, and still the performance issues probably aren't as big of a deal with newer cards and stuff. So.
You're probably right. They probably also ported some of the stuff from 12 to 11, but not like a lot of it. But you're probably right.
Could be.
All right, so we've did you have anything you wanted to throw in? You good?
Everything has pretty much been said at this point.
I know we kind of all threw it out there like verbal diarrhea. I just wanted to make sure we gave everybody the opportunity.
Well, I mean, I think I'm skeptical of I mean, the integrating all the GPUs, I'm pretty skeptical of that and its success. It's something I'm gonna have to see to believe, because that sounds like a really tall order to be able. I mean, even just with integrated cards, there's so many different kind of integrated cards. And I just expect it to be like, well, you know, if you have this integrated card, then it'll work. But if you have like this other one, that's not gonna work. I mean, I don't see them putting that much time into getting all these different integrated cards to work. And then even if they do, how many people have motherboards with integrated cards? Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them don't anymore. And then if they did get it to work where they could mesh it with other video cards, that'd be awesome. But I'm just that's not even something that they said. I think that somebody just was being like saying
Speculation.
with this, yeah, speculating with this technology in the future we might be able to do that. It's just something I'm gonna have to see to believe. That's all.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. This kind of reminds me of when the Unreal 4 engine originally came out, and I saw the video of all the lighting and all the particles and all the pixels and everything was rendering so smoothly. This is a lot of what this reminds me of, and turns out Unreal 4 engine, in my opinion at least, is one of the best engines that's out there right now, and that's just my opinion. You know, Unreal runs really, really smoothly no matter what you put it into. FPS, MMOs. I think there's some fighting games out there now that are rendering some version of Unreal, and it's it's not to be corny, but it's unreal how good the graphics are, and with that engine and how smoothly it runs. So if DirectX 12 can produce the same or similar results as, you know, what an engine can, it makes me think about, okay, what about the next Unreal Engine? What is the next Unreal Engine that implements, you know, 12? How's that going to happen? You know, what can we expect?
Unreal Engine 4, I'm sure, is going to get 12
Probably
in a future revision, a revision near you. And it's actually funny you bring up Unreal Engine 4, because for those of you watching the podcast right now, one of the games I played this week was an Unreal Engine 4 game, the first Unreal Engine 4 game I ever had the pleasure of playing, and it's actually in the preview window right now, so that's good timing. So if you want an idea of how good Unreal Engine 4 looks, that was made by somebody in, like, I think a few months, so that should give you an idea.
This is an indie title, I take it.
Yes, it is.
What's the name again?
That is Timeless.
Timeless.
It's basically Portal, except you manipulate time instead, which is pretty awesome.
Interesting. Okay. All right, moving on to our next topic this evening. Another big thing, potentially big thing. It could be a flop or it could be a big thing. I'm going to lead into this with saying Twitch has pretty much cornered the market in terms of streaming. And there's another few different websites that have tried to be as big as Twitch, such as I'll throw it out there. So you've got Ustream that's out there. That's another really big thing. You've also got, it's not necessarily as big for like gamers. However, it's more for I don't know what the hell are they for, like just shows, gaming shows and shit. You've got Hitbox, which is trying to compete with Twitch, and they're not getting enough momentum. There's YouTube that's actually starting to bring themselves into the streaming market, and there's another streaming site that I can't think of the name of offhand. It looks very fancy. It looks like it could potentially be good, but is it going to pull away from Twitch? That's going to be really, really difficult for any of those websites to do. Even YouTube, which already has a market to market to, it's still going to be difficult to pull, you know, live viewers away from Twitch, who's already cornered the market. I say that to say this: Steam has cornered the market in your DRM-free content, and all in one little program. You know, everybody loves Steam. Go on your Steam library. There's Steam sales for video games, and if you don't have Steam and you got a PC, you need to go download it right now, because it's free to download. It's got a cool little UI. Everything, you know, certain things about games are stored on a cloud for you. Your game saves for certain games, huh?
I said, if I can interrupt, are we denying the existence of Origin in this case?
Yeah,
Dr. McGillicuddy's origin.
Yeah,
Don't use it. It'll
we
kill
are.
you.
We're completely denying the existence of Origin.
And you play
I'll
committed
get to that.
server ignored.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
EA made us make
Or
this
the
one.
existence
Don't
of
touch it.
DRM games on Steam, because there are.
There are. I didn't say there wasn't. But I mean that's mostly what they're known for. I'm gonna kill each and every one of you individually. It's gonna happen.
sorry.
Yay!
I'm sorry.
Let me finish my monologue, fuckers. Jesus Christ.
Dr. McGillicuddy's instant rage. Norgoz drinks it daily.
Oh, he uses rage. It's super effective. All right, moving on. So, with Steam, it's you've got all your library of games. You get little medals and experience, and it's little cool little fluff effects on your profiles. You get all your achievements all in one spot. A lot of people use it. It's good stuff. They have their own version of streaming as well. You can also view your friends' games if you want to. I think that there's a chat room linked with that. I've never done it directly myself. I know.
Realistically, it's Xbox Live for the PC, except
There you go.
Xbox tried to make a Live for the PC and nobody wanted it. So it's
Exactly.
the good Xbox Live for the PC.
There you go. Exactly. Valve did it right. You're welcome, Microsoft. That touche, Microsoft. Something about Microsoft sucking. Anyway, nothing new. So there's what we're leading up to. Steam's cornered the market in that regard. Okay, everybody goes. A lot of people go to Steam. Origin's trying to work. I'll get to Origin. Origin is something similar. It's not as fancy as Steam. It doesn't work as nice or as fluid as Steam does. It's not as polished. They've tried their best to compete with Steam, and they can't quite do it effectively. I mean, they made strides. They've made strides. Of respect to them, but they can't compete directly toe to toe. This new gaming network called GOG, G-O-G, launches what they hope to be a Steam competitor with GOG Galaxy. And there's a few direct features that I think are interesting that stick out. Whereas Origin, you only play with Origin. If you play on Steam, you play on different servers. With this particular platform, there's what they call crossplay. Now, I'm going to briefly explain crossplay. Crossplay is simply put, typically, PC and consoles can play together, like Final Fantasy XIV. If you're on a PS4 and you have a PC, you're on the exact same servers. That's the easiest way to
nuts.
explain crossplay, huh?
Yeah, that's nuts when they do that.
Yeah,
They don't do that enough.
It's awesome, and I agree with you. This platform states that with crossplay, crossplay-enabled games, so I guess the developers have to enable it and put in something different and something extra. Who knows how easy or hard that might be. They'll offer online play between GOG and Steam, which is fucking huge. So that's going to be a really big thing as far as marketing goes, because, maybe people that are on Steam might want to actually check this other thing out, because it's got a few features that Steam doesn't have yet. Like the ability to, like one thing with it is that if you were banned on, this does bring up the question of, does that allow you to avoid a game ban if you go load up GOG instead of Steam? Because we talked about that last week. Developers can put in a ban. Valve implements the ban on the user, but then you can go on GOG and you can actually play. So if those cross-play games are enabled, I mean, if it's only been enforced by Valve, technically you could probably avoid that by going to GOG.
That actually
think
brings
that
up
would-
an entire separate problem, is at what point does Steamworks just interfere with everything? Because I love Steam, I do, as much as the next guy. But if you get a game with Steamworks functions in there, you're essentially saying you want to get this game for Steam because all the functionality is handled through Steam. For example, Dark Souls recently changed all of its servers over to Steamworks, which means in order to properly place Dark Souls, you're going to have to use Steam, I think.
It's better than using Windows or games for Windows, that's for sure.
That's for damn sure. But even
yeah.
still, you still got to worry. At what point does Steam become games for Windows? Because if you want to play this game, you got to be logged on to your Steam account.
Is it?
Right?
In my experience,
Yeah.
the whole crossplay thing, they're saying that Steam prevents you from playing with your friends that are playing a non-Steam version of the games. Am I interpreting that correctly?
That seems to be
Because
what they're
it's-
trying to say.
Because that
would
isn't necessarily true, because Steam does allow you to play games with people who aren't running Steam versions of them.
Yeah.
And like
Depending on what they are, I mean.
right, well they've
Well,
integrated.
if it's a Steam game, then of course not. You're gonna have to be on Steam to play a Valve game,
Valve
but
game.
otherwise,
Right, because otherwise you could get around VAT. For example, if it was TF2, you could get around VAC bans, as you were saying before, guys. So obviously Steam's not going to want that. People are just going to come in, cheat on their servers, and never actually get banned properly. Unless, and this is what I think they might be doing, Good Old Game might have Steamworks integration itself, meaning that this client, while not actually Steam, might be an offshoot of Steam in some regard. That's pure speculation, but you got to think about
I
it.
don't think that they can get the rights to sell Steam games or let people play Steam
Oh,
games.
no.
If they tried to do that, they'd get sued like
No,
super
Damien.
fast.
That's not what I'm saying. They definitely would not be able to do that. They'd be able to sell a game licensed from a developer. But the fact of the matter is, what I think it's going to be is if you want to play a Steam game on Good Old Game, then you'll have to still have a Steam account, but you'll be basically linking your Steam account to your Good Old Game account, and that will allow you to do all of your Steamworks stuff through Good Old Game still, but it's still your Steam account that's like going on to Steam servers and such.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're right. It would be absolutely
That's-
illegal to do
that
that.
sounds-
It's like
That sounds like incredibly repetitive and an idiot thing to do. Yeah.
possibly. I
Um,
mean, it's going to depend on what they can offer outside of that. Because on the one hand, you're also getting the game DRM free. You could actually download it without the client, as opposed to Steam games. You got to do it through the client. You
Well,
know?
the difference here is not so much which client you're using. It's where you're buying the game from. So if you buy a game through Steam, it's going to be linked to your Steam account because it gives you a Steam key essentially for that game. If you buy it through GOG, it's going to give you that title as a GOG game, as opposed to buying it off the shelf at a video game store, which doesn't exist anymore. And then coming home with it, like if you bought a copy of Dark Souls off the rack and brought it home, it wouldn't necessarily be, you wouldn't be able to necessarily tag it to your Steam account. You could add it on your Steam library, but it wouldn't be a Steam game. It would be a game that you've got on your desktop. That's not through EA. It's not through Steam. It's not through GOG. So this is what GOG is saying. You know, if you buy through them, you can also play online with other people, like other people that don't have Steam. I think that's the interplay that they're talking about, the cross-play that they're talking about. Not so much just between them and Steam. Obviously, they need to incorporate that because most of the games that people are buying they're being bought digitally through Steam. So they'd be cutting their own throat if they didn't offer that.
Steam sales are too hard to beat.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
amen to that. But honestly,
Yeah.
GOG does a good job, and I don't know how many of you guys actually knew this. I only learned this a little while ago, but apparently GOG is actually owned by CD Projekt Red, which are the guys who make The Witcher. Yeah,
Witcher,
did you guys
yeah.
know that?
Oh wow.
I knew that
Oh,
for one
wow.
reason, because when I bought my new card, I got a code for my Witcher 3, and guess where it was redeemable?
GOG.
GOG.
They've always given Steam a run for their money, but mostly in the outer American markets. Now they're actually getting to a point where they can compete with Steam as well in America, and I think that this is their step towards becoming a secondary Steam that's actually worth a damn, as opposed to EA, who is really more just an EA-specific
Mhm.
Steam.
Yeah, mostly.
And they strong arm you into using Origin. It's not even like an option. Whereas
Right.
with Steam, most games that you get on Steam, you can get elsewhere anyway. The reason you would buy it on Steam is for that Steam compatibility, maybe workshops and crap like that.
And there's
But,
oh yeah,
But,
go on.
sorry, but with Origin, it's like, you want to play this game? You're going to have to get Origin. Screw you, you know?
And there's a second thing about GOG that a lot of people may not know, actually. They're called, GOG stands for Good Old Game. The reason they're called that is because they specialize in the classics. If there's an old game that you haven't played in a long time and you try to pull it up nowadays, it's probably not going to work.
Mhm.
GOG actually has a lot of these games in their libraries, such as purely for the sake of example, Rayman 2. If you tried to play that right now from your disc, it's not going to work. But GOG has actually done some kind of wizardry through their launcher. I don't know how they do
Wizardry.
it.
Talking
I
about
really don't.
compatibility-wise, then?
Yeah, somehow they have the ability to take some of these games that just don't work anymore, and they find a way to make them compatible with the latest and greatest Windows.
So
Like,
wait, so you're telling me that that I can go back and play Fuck, what's the name of that damn title? Cage, you know, the first two the first two crash on PC. The third one was
First two
huge.
crash.
Infinity. Oh fuck, what the hell's the name of the game? We'll come back to it, I guess.
Command and Conquer.
No.
Conquer?
Is
Fucking-
it generals? Is it generals?
No,
Is
it's
it
not General. God damn it. It's
What
what is
the
it?
fuck are you talking about?
I gotta pull up. You know what I gotta do? I gotta
Describe it a
pull
little
up
bit more.
Steam to find it. I gotta pull up Steam.
This is
Fuck.
usually High Sight's area. Have you ever played that one random game? The one game.
Guys,
that
stop
had
bogarting
1 and
my
2?
job.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Put
guard.
me on the spot.
Oh,
Occasionally
Godwin.
it is.
What
I-
exactly
I
are you
will-
talking about here, son? You know, look here now. Back in my day, see the bogarting.
Eyesight's a
That's my job.
40-year-old man saying bogarting. Oh my god.
Now see here, Sonny. Dr. McGillicuddy's Bogard is not full-on hoopla. It is actually quite delicious and will help through most ailments. I don't even know where I went through that right there.
Be bad. We
Look,
bad.
Dr.
We
McGillicuddy
quiet.
spent me or
We're
gave me
hunting
a
our
shit ton of
woods.
money. I gotta push products. He'll break my legs.
Who's breaking whose legs? Am I breaking your legs?
No, Dr. McGillicuddy, he will break my legs if I do not push his products properly.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're also
Dr.
promising
McGillicuddy, Dr. McGillicuddy does not fuck around.
They're also
Oh,
promising
Norgoz, you're
another
thinking of
option.
Bioshock.
Yes,
Aren't you?
Bioshock. Thank you.
Oh,
Bioshock,
System Shock.
guys,
Yes.
speak of Bioshock, please,
Bioshock.
now.
Bioshock One
No,
does not
Bioshock
play.
1 is not compatible,
Yeah.
at least for any
Oh.
system I've tried to run it on anymore.
It's
Well,
an
it is.
operating system issue, I think.
Yeah, because I have both the physical copy of the game and I bought it on Steam thinking, oh,
Mhm.
maybe they have an updated version of it that I'm not getting on my old physical copy. Nope.
Aha. That's it.
Well, guys, I can save you a shit ton of time and safely say that no, you cannot, because Good Old Game does not sell Bioshock. Haha.
What the?
Do they sell System Shock? Because I'd like a version of System Shock 2 that didn't crash every
They can
5
fix
minutes.
it.
They sell System Shock 2, actually.
That's
But not
good.
System Shock 1. I don't know anyone who sells System Shock 1, but I heard it kind of sucks anyway. Actually, I just finished streaming System Shock 2. It was pretty badass, but Steam, I got that from Steam and it worked fine through Steam.
Well,
Oh, the
playing-
single
you know-
player works. The
Single player.
multiplayers. The multiplayers was glitchy.
Well, you know that was all modded in after the fact, right? They just put that in the latest release because the mod was so good
No,
at the
they
time.
didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't. It was in the
Okay.
original.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I played it. I played it 6 years ago. Yes.
Oh, Okay, well there you
Yes.
go. I guess my information was faulty. I need to go
I played.
a
I
random
played it 6
viewer.
years ago with 3 other people, and every time you try to go through a bulkhead in the multiplayer, it will crash.
Oh.
Pretty much. Or will give you a glitch or some crap. So you have to save. You have to quick save like every 5
Mhm.
minutes, and then every time you go through a bulkhead, do like 3 saves because when it crashes, it will destroy like it'll corrupt one of your save files. So that's just great.
Ooh, that pissed me off something fierce.
jeez. Well, here's something else that's pretty big with this, and that is like we're talking about the old games portion of this now, and there's multiplayer and matchmaking through the GOG Galaxy powered multiplayer games. They offer matchmaking and online play for new and classic games alike. So games like Star Wars, help me out, Cage. What is Star
TIE
Wars?
Fighter.
Knight Academy? Jedi Knight Academy?
Jedi Knight
Oh,
Academy.
Jedi Knight Academy
yes.
will now have, assuming that they sell that as an example, that was a game that was built in the Quake 3 Arena engine and was very, very fun and awesome for a long time, and still is something that myself and Cage and Damien dabble into every once in a while. It's actually still kind of cool. So, but, the servers are few and far between with people, so something like this could be sort of a solution to that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, the only problem I see with that is it's nice to have a place to meet, but you still have to have players there to matchmake with. Offering matchmaking for Doom 2 is only going to get you as far as the number of players you have that are lining up to be matched in a Doom 2 server. So, yes, it's nice that they're making that available. If they make it available for every game that they sell, is something else. But I mean, if you wanted to play old Mech Warrior, not Mech Warrior,
Yes.
Online, the current game, but like the
Yes.
old ones, that'd be great if you bought it on GOG. But you're only going to be matched up with those few random people that are saying, "Yeah, I prefer to play this old pixelated, crappy version that I remember much more fondly than it actually is now." multiplayer, which was horribly imbalanced. You know, it's nice that they're offering it, but you know, it's the feasibility of it. You know, it's like
It's only
going
as
back
good as
and
the community still waiting for it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like going back to a PS3 game and popping in NHL 12 and expecting multiplayer to be there.
I know what we need to do here. Now, GOG, if you're listening, now listen very close, okay? There's one game that each and every one of us on this podcast and those listening alike can say that we want multiplayer servers for. It's very simple. All you have to do is go back and figure out the coding and implement online servers for Star Wars Galaxies. Who's with me?
I knew he was gonna say that.
I knew you were gonna
knew it
say
was coming.
that, and I don't care about that. You're acting like
I
a
don't
cared, and I don't.
Right?
By the way, guys,
Look at you
just
with
for
your
the record,
rose-tinted
th-
goggles.
They are. That game is being like reverse engineered right
I
now.
know, it needs to
There's an
happen
emulator out
faster.
there.
Yeah, I think isn't there a private server that's either up or going up soon?
There are
or
multiple
something?
private servers. The problem is they only about half
Old
the
versions.
game's been done, so only half the classes work, and
Yep.
yeah, it's bad right now.
That's shitty. Yeah, I don't know
Star
why
Wars
they
Galaxies.
ever got rid of that game. That was a priceless gem.
Well, there's a whole story. We're kind of delving off to a side thing, but I think
yeah,
it'll be
let's
interesting.
not.
So,
I'll have you going all night.
no, yeah, I think it'll be interesting for the story of it. Is that essentially what happened was the. You know what? Actually, I don't know what the fuck happened with that. I know what happened after the fact. They changed it.
Oh, here we go. I
can
told
tell
you.
you
all
what
night.
No,
happened.
listen. So, here's what happened: is I don't know what caused Sony to think that it was a good thing to do, but they changed it to, I guess, more of a cookie cutter MMO. So they did that, and then after that, the reason that Star Wars Galaxies ultimately went away after the fact was because nobody, there's so much feedback, so much flack that LucasArts pulled the license and said, Sony, no more. You can't do this. So
Well,
that's
that was
why.
after they had implemented multiple huge changes. The thing they did is they felt they needed to implement a level system like other generic MMOs or every MMO out there at this point.
Mhm.
That's what it was, and when they implemented that, that was considered the combat upgrade. And by doing so, most players lost most of their skills and their
Yep.
professions and
That was crap.
the uniqueness of their characters. And there were multiple like in-game petitions, like there were rallies inside full cities to be against that. And then after the combat upgrade, I don't remember what the other one was, but then they tried something else, and they're like, "This will fix it," and more people left. It was terrible. And then
Do tell.
This guy.
Oh.
All right, okay. I think
But
that's right. The hindsight's right. We should probably skip the rest of it. That's Cage's. Cage
Leave it with
and I will go on for hours. So let's cut this. Let's cut it.
talked
Let's
about
cut
it
it. Move on.
before.
Wait.
What?
So
What?
DRM-free games.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's and letting you download backup copies without DRM.
Yeah,
Yep.
the backup.
Risky biscuits. Risky biscuits.
Well,
It's a choice. It's a marketing choice. If you are a non-DRM person, if you are a pirate, someone that wants to pirate, you're gonna pirate it anyway, regardless if it's DRM protected or not. You're gonna get a copy of it that's either stripped or modded in a way that you can play it. GOG is saying, you know what, we trust our customers, and we're offering this to you in this fashion. If you appreciate the fact that we're doing this, buy it from us. If you don't, buy it from someone else. So it's another way that they're trying to set themselves apart from Steam. I understand what you're saying. By doing that, they are opening themselves up to piracy, but it's a game. It's not their sole game. If companies don't want to risk their games being copied and sold out, then they won't give it to GOG to sell.
right.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
Look, if you don't want your game to be pirated, don't make a game. If you
Hey,
make
I was
a
gonna
game,
say,
it'll be
exactly.
pirated if it's
Don't make
good.
it.
This is the end of story.
They don't make it at all. So, all right. So, were you gonna say something, Cage?
Yeah. Personally, I'd like to see Xfire hop back on this.
Oh God,
and see
yes.
them-
Oh, God.
Because I think they could pull it off.
X-Fire
more than
was pretty
GOG
boss.
or Steam. They could integrate everything. They already. That's
Oh
what they
boy.
were doing.
The rose-tinted glasses, everybody. X-Fire never had a digital distribution system.
Right.
Suddenly infrastructure.
But they should.
Yeah,
They could do it if they.
You
If
know
they
how
did.
much that'd be so huge for them. That'd be gigantic.
that would be really big because X-Fire was weren't they were the original messenger that went across game, right? Or
Yep,
cross.
before Steam ever had one. You're right.
Yeah, that was the original one. That was so boss, man. I mean, I can't tell you how cool it is to have a messenger that'll go into, my Final Fantasy 11, my EverQuest 2, EverQuest 1, all of them. That was freaking boss. That was cool. So
That's right. I can play any game and hear the sound of pants ripping whenever somebody sends me a message.
yes, yes.
And you could
Oh,
for instant messengers as well, which was pretty neat.
yes.
That was cool.
I didn't have to alt tab to talk to people. It was great.
Yeah,
Yes, it
screw you,
was.
Trillion.
Well, in a game like Final Fantasy 11, you couldn't alt tab unless you used an illegal program that I will not mention the name
Which you
of.
could get banned for. You'd get banned for that.
Exactly. All it did was make your game into a window. That's it. Square Enix makes great games, but they're very, very overly anal when it comes to their
Third-party programs.
their program. They don't want anybody reading their code at all. They don't want any of that shit. They just
I
get.
think the reasoning behind it was because they thought applications like voice over IP applications would ruin the game if people communicated outside the game with each other. I think that was the reasoning they gave, which was total bullshit. But
Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on. We've discussed that at length in some other topics that I think were pretty fun and intuitive and interesting change of pace. But moving forward to our next topic this week is going to be Nintendo. Nintendo, which I don't even really, the more I think about it, I don't even want to talk about it just because it's fucking Nintendo. We're going to talk about it anyway because it seems like it might actually be kind of cool. Nintendo's coming to Universal Studios theme parks. Hooray! Yay! Yay! So, slow clap. Very, very slow clap. Thank Nintendo Land, but real. So, on the 7th of May this week, Nintendo announced it's bringing its games and characters to Universal theme parks. Now, this is an idea that's been talked about and rumored for years, since about 2010. The Nintendo president, Satoru Iwata, had previously said that at the present moment, there was no concrete plan. So, since then, there have been ideas and thoughts, and it's been brought up multiple times. So they're actually going to bring it to Universal theme parks as some rides, right? I mean, I don't think that they've announced. Oh yeah, Nintendo Team Attraction. Excuse me. I was like, wait a minute. I knew it said something here, but I knew it was some things here. So what exactly? So that brings up a lot of thoughts. What could we potentially expect to see? And because nothing's been made official yet, what could we expect to see, and what Nintendo themed ride or attraction would you guys like to see?
Mario Kart. Mario Kart. Mario Kart. That's it.
you get a blue shell, Damien.
You get a blue
Oh.
Oh, that would be
But in a good
awesome.
way.
But no, it would be like the sweetest freaking go-karts, and you get like, I don't know how they do it, maybe electronics. People do it all the time in like YouTube videos or whatever. They'll figure something out.
Just put LEDs in the tracks. Just put LEDs in the tracks where the like the boxes would pop up, and then if you had like shells whirling around you, it'd follow your car.
Yeah, brilliant.
You
Anyway,
could track it.
I'd be totally down
and then
with
you
that.
crash, and the screen cracks, and everything blows up, and it's great. But
Car flips,
Just-
you fall out,
just do it.
broken neck, lawsuit. It's a victory for everybody.
it's like Mario Kart, but it's like 20cc Mario Kart.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun if they did Mario Kart. I mean, just think you could have like you set up your axles so like if you got spun out, your axle would just turn like that, and you would actually spin out on the track after you
And
get hit
then
by a
vomit
turtle
on the
shell.
track.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, And then you have the little cloud guy pick you up and bring you back, drop you down on
Yeah,
top of
get like a
somebody
little
else.
button on the
They have
steering wheel or something.
They
Along.
have a worker. They have
Maybe
a
there's a
worker
little
and an
screen
outfit
on the
that runs
steering
down a
wheel.
cloud.
They could do like the
Rainbow
Mach
Road in
5 on all the
Rainbow.
on the carts.
It's a Rainbow Road, so you'd have kids falling off into infinity all over the place.
I'm going for the shortcut. Ah, fuck!
I'm glad he signed a waiver. We're good.
That's why we attach parachutes to all the carts now.
Yes, yes. There was one mistake, there was one incident, and then we decided to actually implement a fix. Unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, where we decided, you know what? Somebody died. Ah, fuck it. Let's try and cover it up with, let's just try and cover it up and just move on. No problem. You know what? Fuck. Let's make a horror theme park attraction out of it now.
Hey,
Yeah, why not?
Hey,
How about a
by the way,
movie?
the fourth
And a
one is
movie.
set for Halloween of 15, by the way.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of time to work on that one. That
Oh,
should be
God.
interesting.
There's also a fake one out on the Apple Store right now, but
Of
they're
course there is.
currently gonna get sued.
Yeah.
What other attractions? I want to see something related to Zelda. Maybe he's like Zelda archery or something. I don't know, something minor.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'd like to see something because Zelda has so many cool little mini games that they could bring in. It's just a matter of, I guess, what's safe for families.
Or you- the
Archery,
Zelda
flaming
ride-
arrows. Put the bomb on the tip.
Or
Flaming
you just
arrows and
walk
boomerangs.
into a room and it's like 80 pots.
Yes, I was about to say that.
I would not envy the person who has to reset those pots every time somebody walks.
Yeah,
in.
no.
Actually, I've
No.
seen places in Japan, not personally, I've seen videos of places in Japan that are like that, where they've got like porcelain bowls and shit and like everything all set up in glass, and you pay to take out your frustrations. You pay
whoa.
for 5 minutes, and they give you a sledgehammer and a pair of goggles, and you just go nuts and just smash the shit out of everything. So it'd be kind of like that.
I could see that.
That seems
I
cool.
want to go to there.
I was thinking maybe like a Donkey Kong thing, where you could have like the original Donkey Kong, where you've got a track that you have to walk up, and they've got barrels rolling down at you. They'd be like big, soft, padded barrels, so that you wouldn't like really hurt anyone. But then you gotta like jump over them and then climb up ladders and then
So like an
I think
obstacle course.
Yeah, I think it'd
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah,
Maybe not for adults, but for younger children, I think it'd be cool.
fuck that. I'm an adult. I'd do it.
Hell
Like a Super
no,
Smash
I'm
Brothers,
just gonna
a bunch
throw
of
barrels
crap
at
into each
'em.
other.
Actually, yeah, that'd be fun. Can the adults throw the barrels?
There you go.
Throw barrels at your children.
I'm gonna save the princess. Wham! That's real.
This for you, Timmy.
You did this to me. Mommy and I can no longer have fun.
Yeah,
Ever.
there's no crying in Donkey Kong.
You know what?
Why call me Kong?
King Kong ain't got nothing on me. That's all I got to say. So, my thought is that, I could probably think of a better one, but I think this is actually pretty good.
Punch Out.
Yes, actually, Punch Out would be awesome, but no, not Punch Out. Mario Party.
I was thinking that, but I was like, how are you gonna do the mini games, right?
You'll just find a
There's a lot
way.
of easy
I'm not
mini
sure exactly about
There's
the
a
mini
lot of
games.
easy mini games.
True.
It's pretty easily doable. I wouldn't say that's much of a attraction or a ride though.
Well, what if it was
oh, I
like
got
a
it.
room
I got it.
and
What
they,
if it was
they
something?
have like a TV with mini games on it, and they just move about the room as if that were the map for the game?
Yeah, there you go.
See, I was thinking the exact opposite. What if the board was a little screen that everyone played on, and then once they moved, there were obstacles all around them, and they'd have to do specific ones. Like in
Oh,
real life, they do the
yeah.
mini game. You know?
What if they had a pharmacy that's Dr. Mario? There you go.
Dr. McKillicuddy does not agree with Dr. Mario. His practices are outdated.
Nobody
Shove
like
pills down your throat.
All right. Oh, hey, Phyrus's beard is back. Holy shit. Nice, nice. For those watching
Now it
live,
looks
you
like
can see it.
Phyrus.
For those of you not watching live, you are missing out on a beautiful, beautiful beard that's made of luscious pixels. Hey, is that DirectX 12 rendered?
No, this is
Damn.
DirectX 4.
Damn. Okay. Got it. All
Does that look like it has dynamic lighting, guys? Come on,
I-
guys.
right. Sure, I just suppose it could.
It doesn't
I mean,
quite,
how am I
stick
supposed to
its
know? Alright, so
model very well.
So I would like to see like Mario Party. Damien said Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart's probably the best one. Hindsight. What did you say?
I said Zelda something.
Zelda,
Zelda,
yeah,
such
Zelda's
as
be cool.
Zelda, some kind of Zelda archery thing would be good, I think.
Phyrus, you kind of brought up Punch Out, but was that what you had said?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey, right, Donkey Kong. And Cage, what did you say? Did you bring up one yet?
I didn't really say anything. I was jokingly saying Smash Brothers because then you can like push kids
Oh.
off platforms and stuff.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Just have
Yeah,
to
do
put
into a
in that-
little mini, like
You'd have to
mini,
give
those
them,
little
like,
mini
sock 'em
plastic
boppers.
balls.
You'd have to do
Yeah.
like sock 'em boppers.
Like American Gladiators, Nintendo style.
There you go. Perfect. We got
It's
it.
like Robin Hood and Little John with the sticks. You just whack each other till someone falls off.
See, what they should do though, I'd like to see them. They could do like a Pokemon Snap ride.
Oh,
Oh,
Hey,
damn,
that's
that'd be
big.
good.
I think we got a winner.
Because I
Yeah.
would totally try that out. Chuck apples at like Psyduck's face.
And then you hand him in to Professor Oak, and he hates all of them.
Yeah. Okay,
You know
so
what's funny is I've come to realize Pokemon will outlive us all.
it
Have you
will.
noticed that yet?
It will.
It might, but I know the creators are talking about cutting down. They're gonna stop it. The number of new Pokemon here pretty soon.
Thank
Next-
goodness.
that's-
That's
yeah, that's fine.
jeez. They should have
They
did that
don't
a
want
long time ago.
over 1,000.
I just
Wow.
want I want them to create some kind of a virtual reality, what augmented reality Pokemon system where all over the world there are literally just virtual Pokemon. You wear these glasses, you see them all, and then you throw like it's like
That-
a real life Pokemon.
That was a thing, actually. That was
the
going to.
Google's April Fool's joke
April Fool-
from
yeah.
2014.
Yes, I do remember that, but I'm talking about like literally they are there and you can fight with your friends and shit like fake little action.
Well, that would be great.
Wait, Google
and
Glass?
that's-
Use
Yeah,
Google Glass for
Google
that?
Glass, something like that. Yeah, you got your 3DS strapped to your
Cardboard.
head. It's got that.
Well,
that
Google's got
augmented
they have their wireless infrastructure they're trying to stretch across as well now. So I mean,
Coming full circle.
they'll eventually be able to do it. But I'm telling you, Skynet's on the way.
Skynet's gonna kill us before we can have Pokemon outlive us all. So
It's
With that thought.
unfortunate the robots are going to use Pokemon to eventually take over the world and then create the cyborgs. And Pokemon will be the death of us all. It's just gonna be
Pokemon-
a cute death at first.
yeah, Pokemon will. They'll make Pokemon as their actual like forms. That's what they'll do. Yep,
No one will ever see it coming.
it'll be crazy. So
It's good
Oh.
times.
good stuff. Moving on. Our next big thing is also sort of in a way Nintendo related because it was on the Nintendo 64. There's a Kickstarter that's been put together for the sort of a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor called Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee. Can we get a slow clap for the name? Yes, Yooka-Laylee. So
You're
The
not gonna
inter-
slow clap for me for that. That deserves full applause because I want Banjo-Kazooie 3.
All right, so this is sort of an introduction. I'm just going to read through the introduction that they kind of put up on their Kickstarter. They're already meeting and exceeding their goal. Their goal was like 270,000. They're at almost 2.3 million already on their Kickstarter, and they got 38 days left. They're making this game and probably like 3 or 4 fucking others at this point. Introducing our all-new buddy duo. Back in the mid-90s, Steve, don't call me Steven Males, don't pay less. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He came up with a famous bear and bird duo. That's Banjo-Kazooie. And a platforming classic was born. When it came to dreaming up an all-new buddy duo in 2015, Steven set himself the objective of dreaming up the most delightful adventure characters possible. A platforming pair designed for fun, gameplay first. With Yooka and Laylee, we believe Steve has captured the spirit of his past heroes while introducing the most inventive moves yet seen in any of our team's work. Like a cyborg Indiana Jones, our heroes are equipped for adventure and brought to life by the voice of Banjo and Kazooie himself, Chris Sutherland. You can expect plenty of cheeky and irreverent gags too. Across more than 5 distinct worlds, Yooka and Laylee will tackle unique platforming challenges such as rolling into a ball to navigate a pinball-inspired race course, in search of Paggies, the golden bounty, used to unlock and expand new areas of the game, as is traditional in our team's games. Each world will be jammed to the gills with oddball characters and hulking bosses, many who communicate via a collage of burp and fart noises. Great. So 5-year-old kids are gonna fucking love it. I just want to go back really quick and let me say this really quick before I unleash you guys onto the world. As soon as they said the voice of, and they said Chris Sutherland, I immediately thought, what if this was voiced over by Seth MacFarlane? I think that would be awesome.
I think I'd cry a little instead.
So
I don't need to hear Brian the dog telling me about all these collectibles I'm collecting.
okay, I'm going to unleash you on the world, and I'm going to start with high side because I know this is the thing. This is something he's been extremely excited about. I'm not gonna bring up anything at all. Go, just go, just go, go and do things.
I'm excited. That's all. No, really, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I love Banjo-Kazooie. Their sense of humor, their sense of style, their sense of music. They have the same fucking composer. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so good. Everything about this, the entire team is the Banjo-Kazooie team. The entire gameplay is Banjo-Kazooie. They have the same two protagonists that are just different animals. I'm fine with that. It's gonna be so fucking good, and I can't wait. Anyone else?
See, I just loved watching this, the money get raised for this. I'm actually still watching the money go up. They've got more than 8 times the amount of their pledged goal, and now they just keep creating more and more stretch goals because they keep breaking through them so quickly.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've never. I don't know if I've seen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was funny how they had the original levels. Then every time they get there, they're like, "All right, let's put some crazy level, like $1,500 for a donation." And then they're like, "All right, we're gonna only put 5 of those out there." Then you see it's like already filled. And you're like, "All right, we're gonna put something out there for like $5,000 level," and it's like we're only gonna put 5 of them out there. Like, it's already filled. We're gonna go crazy, do like a $10,000 donation level. All right, that's sold out. What's next? You know, they keep jumping up to these huge levels.
$1 million.
People keep donating money to this. And I mean, that's great. I mean, that's the way, you know, that's the way crowdfunding should work. If you're in touch with a community that wants something very badly. So I mean, good on them. Personally, I've never played Banjo-Kazooie, but I've played plenty of tandem games like this, like the Ratchet and Clanks, Jack and Daxter. You know. The buddy team, cartoony games like that were famous on the PlayStation. You know, I love those games. Personally, I prefer those games to having a gigantic freaking gun that can shoot cows and shit. But you know, Banjo-Kazooie's got its own group, like Highsight. So.
This is definitely the kind of game that literally defined collectathon. And for item whores, such as myself, someone who likes to find and collect things, someone who likes looking in little nooks and crannies for things,
I'll nook your cranny in a minute.
Such a valuable genre that's just not seen often enough. And the fact that Nuts and Bolts was the last Banjo-Kazooie game that came out, and if you played that game, you will know immediately
awesome.
that. No, don't you dare! Damien, I will come across the screen, and I will strangle you with Dr. He's strangling this. They are so good at strangling, oh my! No, it was so bad. The thing is, but the funny thing is, you could tell from how they did it, the giant open worlds with nothing in them. It was supposed to be a collectathon game, and then Microsoft, who bought out Rare, said, oh, by the way, no one likes collectathons. We're going to make it a racing build game now. Do it. It's like, oh, well, we weren't making that. Do it. What's that?
I said it's the same market, same
Oh,
thing.
yeah, same market, same demographic. We're reaching the Forza demographic with this one, Rare. Don't fuck this up. But all right, nerd rage aside, it's just so cool that there's going to be another collectathon game created by the masters of collectathon games with the same humor, the same style, the same everything I ever wanted. I'm just so happy.
So with the lizard in the bat this time.
So let's kind of go through this briefly then. So you wanted a dream soundtrack by David Wise, the Donkey Kong Country, and also the sound person, and
Not David Wise, no. the guy who did the music for Grant. His name's
And
Grant something.
Grant Kirkhope. I know. Now look.
Yeah.
There's two people that combine together
Okay.
that makes.
Oh, you're right. They are collaborating. Okay. I'll shut up.
I'm gonna swear. Hey, if you tell me I'm wrong on this one, I'm gonna point you in the direction of one line that says David Wise and Grant Kirkhope. It's right there, you little bastard. They combine together, and they.
Dr. McGilligatty's combined soundtrack. It'll be delicious for your ears.
No, actually, I didn't realize that they had actually put up some sampling of their music for this on their Kickstarter, and I am very happy. It's very well done already.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie had some of the best music ever, and let's face it, Donkey Kong Country also had some of the best music ever, and they're getting both of them. But go on, guys. What else was on my dream list?
So you also wanted to have arcade machines. Each world hides at least one secret arcade game encasing old-school gaming goodness. Complete its retro-tastic challenge to claim your Paggy. Ooh, that sounds pretty interesting, does it not?
Saucy as fuck. Yes, I do want that. Again, it just goes into those hidden nooks and crannies, rewarding you for exploring, for finding every little crevice.
I'll nook your cranny in a minute. So, they're introducing Playtonics. Discover these unique gameplay modifiers and use them to customize gameplay to suit your style. Will you run faster? Will you hit harder or fly further? Also, are they named after our studio or vice versa? We'll never know. Cast to last as well. There's a huge cast of memorable characters to meet or beat, brought to life by the art. This is written. Most of this I'm reading directly off the Kickstarter page, by the way. For those who are like, wow, he seems like he's really got his shit together today. No, not really. But beautiful characters to meet, brought to life by the art and audio teams behind Banjo-Kazooie, and destined to endure in future games as part of Playtonic Universe. Expect all manner of grunts, squeaks, squawks, but no squirts.
That's good.
Dr. McGilligatty's squirts. Don't drink it. It's god awful. You might shit yourself. Dr. McGilligatty's, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, what do we have? We've already talked about how it's a collectum game. No, I think I should bring this up. So they say call it collectum up 2.0. It's a roster of shiny collectibles with gameplay progression at their core. Every collectible type in our new game will expand gameplay in a meaningful way. Yes, we employ the man responsible for Donkey Kong 64's myriad of trinkets, but we've had a stern word. Our main collectible Paggies are used to unlock and expand new worlds in ukuleles. And then, of course, we talked about the expandable worlds, so on and so forth. So, I mean, it does have a lot of potential, I think. There's a lot of opportunity for expansion, for, potential replayability. They have a lot of abilities put together for the two heroes, and it's built to be fun. So, Banjo-Kazooie was just a fun game, and I think that's what they're going to bring back to gaming that hasn't, in some ways hasn't always, hasn't continued to be around. So, although I've made fun of the game, is it a game that I would play? If it's a console-only game, I'm probably not going to get it. If it's only going to be on a Nintendo console, not so much. But I think they're going to actually, throw it to multiple consoles. At least I hope.
It's actually PC-based.
And not Steam.
I'm going to
It's gonna be good.
That's true. That's true. Out of all of this, yeah, it does say, it's platform consoles and PC. I should have known that. It's right there at the top. I'm an idiot.
How much funding they got? I really hope that they could afford to put it
I
on.
know, right? So
I'm willing to bet it's going to use some kind of Unreal Engine, much like A Hat in Time. Another collectathon everybody should check the fuck out of because it's awesome.
Oh.
I love collectathons. I'm an item whore. Don't judge. It's like hoarding, except it's virtual, so it's okay.
All right.
You don't have dead cats in your game, so it's okay.
That's only in my save file of BioShock, okay? I found the secret dead cat Easter egg.
Oh, cold. To final thoughts before we move on.
Just
Good luck to him.
they have the equivalent of $2.2 million, United
Not enough.
States dollars. Yeah, USD. Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts.
That's
Especially
cool.
for a
But it's
Kickstarter
not
game.
nuts and bolts. Because fuck that.
Oh,
Plant is
Easy,
nuts.
calm down.
you gotta dial it back, man. I think it's really cool. Just the fact that a game that people like has been able to get this much funding. Just like I mean, crowdfunding has come a long way and it's becoming like super successful, and I think that's really awesome because we're getting a lot more things that people just want that before, even if people wanted them, there weren't money backing behind it. Like we got the new Super Troopers and stuff coming out, so I think that's really cool. Super Troopers, Super Troopers.
So,
Ramrod.
Ramrod. All right. Moving on to our next topic this week. We got a couple about these guys this week, actually. Activision Blizzard reports $1.28 billion in revenue for the first quarter. Now, one thing to keep... Well, I don't want to combine the two. I guess I could combine the two. But we'll talk about something else here in a moment that's also related to their quarterly earnings. Now, Activision, you know, they've got... what I wanted to delve into is Blizzard has really done a lot of stuff in the last several years. They've jumped out of the norm. They've jumped out of just their basic few games like StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and Diablo. They're starting to make Overwatch, which is a MOBA, which is going to be kind of like Team Fortress 2. It's designed to be in comparison with another game that's currently, I guess it's still, I guess it's alpha, Gigantic, which they've seen gameplay of the both, and they look similar. So in you know the basic sense, that is, there's Hearthstone. They put together their trading card game. They brought Heroes of the Storm, which is their current more of a classic MOBA, kind of like League of Legends. So they've done a lot of things in branching out. So with all the revenue that they're generating, and they're branching out more and more and more, what are you guys excited about next? You know, like a current upcoming game they've already announced, or what would you like to see them delve into? What genre or what type of game would you like to see?
I think they're doing good with what they're working on now. I mean, not just Blizzard, but you know, since they're Blizzard. Oh wait, no, I'm mixing up my things. Oh yeah, because they're with Activision, so they've got Destiny and all the other shooters like that. So they've got a wide variety of things that they're focusing on, and I think they're doing a great job. I think, you know, stepping into the MOBA world with Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's done, I think, a great job with that, and that game's only going to move forward. I saw they've got an update. They're having Kael'thas Sunstrider coming up pretty soon with a new release. That'll be interesting. So yeah, I think they're on a good path. I think Destiny 2 would be good. They're still putting out content for that. I think there was a new update for that this week or next week, another DLC package. So yeah, I think they're on a good trajectory, and I think they'll just keep at it, and I think they'll still be successful. We won't have to worry about them Konamiing anytime soon.
Pulling a Konami.
That's
Oh.
right. I'm making it a verb now.
Wow.
Konami, yes.
It's
Did
like
we
heroing for the video game industry.
Konami? Did we say how much they made for the quarter? Is that what did you actually say?
1.28 billion.
Yeah, 1.28 billion. To put that in perspective, Nintendo is down 97 million in this first quarter, and EA made 835 million. If I read their report for this quarter right, which is about 2/3 of the amount of money that Activision and Blizzard made. So that's pretty significant amount of money. If we're gonna, sorry, I totally skipped over your question though about games. I think Overwatch is totally the way to go. That they're branching off in all these different directions, and everything that they do looks solid and looks like it. What are you doing? What are you looking at?
I'm excited for Overwatch.
I'm looking at. I'm pointing over at frickin' hindsight on this. in his drum. I'm like, what is
You
it?
said
What is
Overwatch,
this
I'm
guy
so
doing?
happy
Look
for
at his
Overwatch.
face.
Come
He's
on, Damien. You're ruining Damien's
Overwatch
speech,
looks
guys.
awesome. Overwatch looks awesome. Here's the Storm looks and plays great.
yes.
Hearthstone looks and plays great, and it has support for multiple devices.
Yes,
It's
on
just
your phones now.
Everything they touch just looks good, and their future looks bright. And I can imagine them getting since they're branching out right now and doing these different things, I can see them doing more variety. Hopefully not too much, and then hurting themselves because they do something stupid.
I guess.
But, yeah.
Do any of you see them branching out to other consoles, other platforms other than PC? I mean,
Oh.
they were on
They have in
Super
the past.
Nintendo at one point.
Yeah.
Well, you know that they now have.
Well, they got
they have
iPad.
Diablo 3.
Well, I
for
guess-
Whoa,
that.
whoa, 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 whoa! Hey,
technically
hey!
Activision- Hold on.
One at a time. Hi,
I
sir.
guess technically they are because Activision Blizzard. Sorry, I keep not counting them.
No, I forget about them too, actually.
Like, oh, I just counted my own. What is
It's like,
true?
oh, I love Blizzard, but I don't love Activision. And somehow they married that together, but in my mind, I'm just like, no, there's still two separate things.
Right.
But
Well, if you got Diablo 3's on consoles too now, so I mean they're
Mhm.
Oh, that's
there.
great. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
That's true. I foresee they're gonna implement a console version of Hearthstone with the way that they're going with it. I think that would just make sense. That's the next step. They started in, and to touch on both HOTS and Hearthstone together, even in the alpha stages, I played them both in alpha. They played smooth like a finished product in alpha, smooth as fucking butter. I'm not even kidding you. I don't think I've ever seen an alpha play nearly as smoothly as these have. I've seen some really good alphas too that have been out there, but this one played really. These guys played really well. These games played really well. These guys played really well. So that's a anyway, moving. Okay, moving on.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know if that was a Freudian slip or what. But, guys, playing well by Dr. McGillicuddy. Do you ever feel like you don't play well? Well, drink a bottle of this. It works for Gauze every day. For extra strength, use it as an enema. Strength, guys, playing well.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god. Okay. Wow. Okay. So so anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. My phone. I got something on my phone. I couldn't help myself. I
Guys
lost
playing
I
well.
I lost some IQ points. My god. Anyway, what was I saying? What were we talking about? Two guys?
Well, I do want to say one thing. I'm so excited for Overwatch as somebody who played Super MNC, Super Monday Night
Yes.
Combat. Yes, this is Super MNC done by Blizzard and
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress. You're right. It's like a beautiful combination of the two. It's a beautiful marriage of the two, which are two games that Team Fortress they're doing fine, but Super MNC I don't think got a fair shake because nobody knew who Uber Entertainment really was at the time, and they didn't know what MOBAs were at the time. But now they're both popular. Less Uber, but more MOBAs. So it'll be good to see what somebody like Blizzard, who has the infrastructure already, who has the player base, does with a Super MNC style game with a little bit of TF2 mixed in. I'm super psyched for it. It's gonna be fun.
I hope in Overwatch that they have commentators like they had in SMNC.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Like Chicky Cantor, and those guys were just fucking hilarious, just talking over the top of the fight. Hilarious. So that's one thing I'd love to see in Overwatch.
I miss Mickey Cantor.
Mickey Mantle?
Mickey
Mouse?
Cantor, motherfucker. You don't disrespect the name.
Hey, look here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about Hearthstone and how they started, as an alpha. They moved into it was originally for PC. They moved it to tablets. They eventually moved it just recently within the last month, I think it was. Month or month and a half. They moved it to phones. Your iOS and your Android phones can now play Hearthstone. And it's a little weird to get started with because it just, it's touchpad and it just plays slightly awkward at first, but you get used to it really quickly, and it plays well, and you're playing against all people from tablets, PCs, whatever, and my god, it's awesome. it's very, very cool. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. You guys,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So are we? We really have nothing left on
Do you
this
wanna
We
do
topic.
have the second part that I want to kind of go
Well,
into
we just
when
went.
that comes up.
We just went into everybody's really excited about what they come out with next.
Oh
Yeah.
right, I didn't get mine, did I? Oh,
No, what is yours?
mine
answer
would
either.
probably be I would like to see Blizzard. Wait. There we go. Okay. I was gonna say, I would like to see Blizzard delve off into. Well, actually, I probably prefer them stick with what they've got now. You're doing it right. I think I'm with Phyrus on this. Stick with what you've got. Continue to build off of what you have. I mean, Overwatch looks like it has a lot of potential. Don't overdo it and jump into something else right away. However, in the future, I might like to see something as far as maybe see Blizzard do an FPS, an actual FPS title, maybe.
Wasn't
Do you
Overwatch
think
kind
that
of
they'll
in
have
that-
Overwatch characters in Heroes of the Storm?
I bet they will.
Oh, I'll bet
hey.
it'll happen. Hell, they
Oh,
got
probably.
the Lost Vikings in Heroes of the
Yeah.
Storm, and if you know what the Lost Vikings is, congratulations.
Yeah, but
That's some old school shit right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they're gonna have crossover between those two games. I mean, seriously though, what other genres could they branch into? Would there be a racer, like Heroes of the Track? Where
they already did strategy.
I feel like that'd be a fun April Fool's thing. Heroes of the Track.
Can you imagine instead of like Bowser on the little go-kart having like Diablo up there with a little tiny racing wheel, little steering wheel?
That'd be
That
awesome.
Blizzard could do that. Blizzard could
so
totally pull that off.
Would they go for like a Farmville thing where you're like maybe like a Warcraft general trying to bring up his army, where you have to like strategize and building resources to do that on a mobile platform? I mean, what other genres is there out there that they could touch into? A rhythm game?
They have to get into
I
like
think that's really done it.
simulation games, like The Sims. Except in this case, it'll be in like Sim City, but it'll be the Blizzard realms.
Or maybe you're just like a whole bunch of what do they call those, Zerglings? They have like a family of Zerglings that live underground instead of like a sim world. I don't know, but I mean that I think they're. But then again, if we bring this back, if we brought this discussion back 2 years ago and said, "What do you want Blizzard to do?" and if someone said a trading card game, to be like,
What? Exactly.
why would they do a trading card game? How are they going to make that work? Or they should do a MOBA. Not a chance. Why would Blizzard do a MOBA? So here I am joking about them doing like a Farmville or a racing game, and I'm just going to be eating my words in 2 years from now. So,
I mean, look at it this way: Clash of Clans is technically it has its roots in Farmville, and look at what that is. So it's entirely possible.
yeah.
Well, that just is casual gaming showing that it has a large presence in the gaming community now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we've talked about that recently too. Like when we had that game developers survey, and it was like 70% of the developers there said they've got a finger in the mobile world. So, I mean, it's casual gaming is up and coming.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's. I don't think it's pushing out the hardcore PC or console gamers. It's just growing the market on top of that beyond where they were in the past. So I don't think it's refocusing towards mobile. I think it's growing exponentially on the mobile side. So.
Well, I want to delve into the next topic that kind of merges into this because it'll bring some light to some of this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
Moving on.
yeah.
Segue, poke.
Sorry.
Moving. Okay. Topic. Moving on. So, World of Warcraft suffers biggest quarterly subscriber drop ever, down from 10 million to 7.1 million in 3 months. That's a quarter, people, for those of you who can't count. World of Warcraft lost 2.9 million subscribers in the last quarter, and that ends in March 31st. This news comes courtesy of the Activision Blizzard's first quarterly earnings report of 2015 and marks the biggest subscriber loss in a 3-month period since the game launched Back in 2004, that's 11 years ago, people. Over a decade ago. So even though they're reported the 1.28 billion in proceeds, uh, they did lose subscribers. Now, one thing I want to point out is that we've talked before about the WoW tokens that are coming out in the future, and this is not including that WoW token being put into consideration, because or not consideration, but it's not being considered because it's not been implemented yet. That's what I'm leading to. So these are actual subscribers that have been lost altogether, not because WoW tokens have come out, but because they've actually lost it. Hearthstone has a massive 30 million users, which they have a free-to-play model where you can buy card packs if you'd like, and expansions. And while Destiny has 20 million players, which, as we all know, Destiny's a free-to-play model. You can pay for the game. You got to pay for the game. You pay for expansions, and I think that's pretty much it. They don't have any actual fluff stuff right now, as of yet.
You're aware that is the exact opposite of free-to-play, right?
What?
You said they have a free-to-play model.
Let me rephrase then. What would you call this? Like, it's not pay to play. There's a phrasing that we call it, but basically,
you're talking about non-subscription base. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So just like Guild Wars. Guild Wars, you pay for the game, you play it for free.
Right. Gotcha.
Until they cut off the servers in, like, I don't know, 2035.
We'll just call that the traditional model. You buy it and play it.
There you go. Traditional. Sounds good to me. Let's go with that. So with this, Blizzard's. Wait a minute. So this doesn't. So where did they go wrong? The question. Where did they go wrong? Was Warlords of Draenor too casual oriented to keep the long-term subs, or was there just too much to do? Did people get overwhelmed? What was there not enough in-game content? I know some of us are going to know more than others, but thoughts?
Well, here's another 11-year-old game.
Well, here's another question towards it. Do you think there's a chance that it could be due to the pay-to-play model, the subscription-based model? Do you think that is dying out? Because free-to-play is becoming increasingly more popular.
It is, and I would say that very well could have something to do with it. I know that I myself, even though I genuinely at heart prefer a subscription-based game, I think it's more that's where my roots came from. And nowadays, I don't want to play a subscription fee. Even for Final Fantasy XIV, which I love to death, I haven't paid a sub fee in a long time. Although I'm probably going to go back here pretty soon because the expansion's coming out again, and I'll pay to play that. I will definitely pay to play that, no problem at all. But ultimately, free to play is more popular. But if you have a solid game, a solid title like Final Fantasy XIV, like EverQuest 2, by EverQuest 2 I mean back in the day before it crashed, there's World of Warcraft, and if you have a solid title like those and you do a subscription, I'm on board with you. I will stick with you as long as I find fun. As long as I find fun in the game. And I play for in-game hardcore raid content. That's what I play for. Final Fantasy XIV is still delivering it, so I'll pay for that, definitely. But as far as the model, very well could be.
I think that it's just tough because we're talking about the casual base getting bigger and mobile market getting bigger. It's hard for people to make that commitment for a subscription. It's hard to justify, like, okay, I'm going to pay $12 and then I have 30 days to play in a world where people have tons of games they can go to, pick up and drop whenever they want. It doesn't cost them anything. It's hard to keep people around paying subscription fees, especially, like we were saying, with more and more free-to-play games to come out with. And I think that the game is, like I was saying, 11 years old. It's hard to stay fresh, new, give good, exciting content that's just going to keep you there, So, I mean...
I kind of disagree with that, only because of the fact that a lot of people stick to MMOs and they're very reluctant to quit them just because of how much they've invested into that world, into that game, the people they've met and the friends they've made. And I think that's what keeps MMOs going a majority of the time, really, is people's reluctancy to leave due to the social aspect and the amount of time invested.
I mean,
I think that a lot of people I think, are just ignoring the fact that they're also coming down from their biggest peak of all time of 10 million, the fact is, Draenor, however the hell you pronounce it, that
Draenor,
brought them
yeah.
the greatest peak they ever had 3 months ago. That's when it came out. And now people have done all the stuff they wanted to do in it. The more casual players who played in the past came back to play it, and they've paid for their subscriptions to play through the content. I think they've all just seen everything that the new expansion had to offer, so they just cancel their subscriptions until the next big thing comes out, because in the meantime, they're already hooked on other, as you were saying before, free-to-play games that they don't have to dedicate a subscription to in the meantime. They'll come back again once a new expansion is out. I think
Plus,
that's
you
all it
still
really
get that
is.
social aspect. You still get that social aspect with a game like Guild Wars or free
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
I think I agree most with what Damien said. That personally, I'm very frugal with my game money, my expendable money. I would never hop back into World of Warcraft now because I can't play every night. And you have to realize that with a game that's 11 years old, started 11 years ago, you figure that starting base of players was between the ages of 18 and 25, 28.
Mm-hmm.
Put that 11 years later, you're talking about 29 to 36-year-olds. And those are adults that have kids, that have no time, that have no expendable money. So as your player base ages with your game, you either hold on, maintain that core group of players that's the hardcores, and you're not going to lose those guys. Possibly because those people aren't going to be married and have kids because they do nothing but hardcore raiding. Sorry, guys. But
Unless
but
their
in-
other is into
I
that
did
too.
hardcore content with him
I
in
am
Final
perp-
Fantasy.
I'm perfectly okay with where I'm at in my life. Thank you very much.
well, okay, so and that's fine. Everyone's got their own thing, and that's perfectly acceptable, and that's what you choose to do. But a lot of people, as they get older, they become less gamers. So if you're going to make the decision between paying $15 for your month of World of Warcraft, or using that $15 to put towards
Diapers.
Diapers, formula, or saving up for 2 months and saying I got $30, I can buy another game, or like this weekend on Steam, they had Witcher 1 on sale, have on sale for like $1. Witcher 2 is on sale for $3. Now, why would I choose to stay with a $15 subscription that I may get to play 4 nights this month, instead of buying 2 full games, which are going to give me 30, 40 hours of gameplay, if not more? So I think a lot of people are making that decision, saying that either the free-to-play games are the way to go, or just the regular standard traditional pay method games are the way to go, where you can pick it up and drop it as you go. That they don't have time to sit down and be the hardcore raider. So I think it's not so much where World of Warcraft has gone wrong. I think it's more or less a snapshot of where the market is at this point, as far as who's joining the game. Are there 18-year-olds joining World of Warcraft, or do they see it as the old game that their father was playing because their father may have been playing that? Is it a new market for them? Can they keep it fresh enough to bring in new players, as opposed to trying to rehash old players and bring them back? So I think there's the dichotomy there that they're trying to balance, and I think that's one reason why you're seeing this drop off, because there's been a bunch of AAA titles coming out in the past, well, not the past 3 months, but the 3 months prior to that, where this fiscal quarter is. You had like the end of the Christmas rush with all those games, and then you had like the early this season game. So I think that's where you're seeing a lot of that drop off, where people are just like, well, I don't have time to play WoW that much. That, and I think pandas. I'm going to blame it on pandas. So
Pandas.
I like the panda.
I like the panda.
I actually totally agree with Phyrus' point. I think that's a really good point to make.
It is.
Because it really does tie into the age of the game. The viewer, or not the viewers, the gamers, the players have grown with the game to the point where now they're at the point in their lives where they don't really have the time, or they're not in the same financial situation that they were. I still see myself as a gamer, 20 years, 30 years down the road, so that I don't really
Oh,
view
yeah.
it that way, and I didn't really take that into consideration. Um, However, the time aspect is a really big factor for me. In fact, the big driving factor for me not really getting into a subscription-based game at this point is simply because of the fact that I feel obligated. I need to play this game because I'm paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are all these other games that I can play and that I'd like to play that are cheaper, especially with the Steam sales, Humble Bundle, all those kinds of things, digital sales of games, and the reliability of the fact that these games will go on sale for the price that they are. My game library is starting to pile up, so I'd much rather go through these games that are interesting me than continuing to play the same game.
And the other thing you have to also consider is the fact that World of Warcraft is always an online game. If you are away from an ISP, away from a connection, you can't play WoW. So that may be another condition that you have to think about when these gamers of a certain age are trying to figure out what to buy, when to play. Maybe they're at work on break, or at work not on break, and they're looking for a game to play. So they can't necessarily
Naki.
lock on to their hostile network and not and play WoW, because that's for one, it's probably blocked, and if it's not, it should be blocked. But anyway, that's another thing that you have to be taking into consideration. Do I buy that, or do I buy Portal? I've heard really good things about Portal. It's an offline game, so I bring my laptop in when it's quiet. Maybe I'll play that.
Mm-hmm. I have a sort of I don't know if it's not necessarily a counterpoint. I think you have a great point with the market changing and people growing older. I don't think that's the main reason that they've lost that many in one quarter, though, because we're talking about a 3-month span. That's not a hell of a lot of time. I mean, it is, but it's not. If you look at it from the grand scheme of things, like you're looking at it, then what's changed in those 3 months to make people come and go. And I think I guess it's may very well be more of the rush of the expansion starting to taper off, and people, I think they've unlocked almost all the content at this point, and people have either seen it or they've done it. There's casual raids now. They're just random matchmaking. So instead of actually having to go there and have a guild to do it, you can just matchmake with random people and do it casually. That's at a lower difficulty than the regular ones. So I think a good chunk of it is definitely going to be the content itself. Is that a factor? Probably. What you're saying, Phyrus and Cage, probably is definitely a factor, but I think it accounts for a certain percentage of the loss. I don't think we're definitely going to see and I know that you're not worth saying that all of it's from that, but I don't think that's a drastic enough change that it would cause a drastic enough change to lose that many subs in a 3-month period to account for it. I don't know that it's actually all the content either, but those are the two things I guess that those are the two, maybe some really big drivers on it. But other than that, myself, I don't foresee that that there's anything much that they've done to really scare people off. Some people might have even cut their subs early in anticipation for the WoW tokens. But something that they might not have taken into consideration is you have to have a subscription to be able to log into the game to get said WoW token. You have to buy them from inside the game. You can't do it from outside the game. You have to redeem them and get them inside the game. You can't just apply it to your account. You have to actually be inside the game. So people might be resubbing at least 1 month just to do that.
The other thing.
I've got one more point that I want to make that's very important to this discussion. Q3 2014 numbers were 7.4 million. And then Q4 came along with the release of the biggest expansion they've done in a long time, and the numbers jump up to 10 million. Yeah, the numbers jump up to 10 million. And now 3 months after that, they're back to 7.1 million, which is slightly lower. Realistically, I really just I don't know. You guys are discounting this, I think, but I really think it's really just a question of the people who just wanted to see the expansion jumped on for a short period of time, and then they left after a month. I really think that's all there is to it. I think it's kind of being overanalyzed a bit.
The WoW tokens, wasn't that supposed to combat the farming, the gold farmers as well?
Yes.
So maybe that's 3 million gold farmer counts
Oh.
that disappeared that wasn't worth it for them to stay active. I mean, not the whole thing, obviously, but maybe there was a chunk of those that add to the number as well.
All right. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is move on from this topic. We've got a little bit of time left. We have our question of the week coming up here shortly. One thing I did want to bring up that we can go through that we absolutely have to bring this up. A hacker. Why do I not have this in one of my tabs? A hacker gets destroyed inside of a game. We have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. Even if it's just me telling you what happens. A hacker is given an in-game death sentence. Okay, a character controlled by a hacker who used exploits to dominate online game Guild Wars 2 has been put to death in the virtual world. The character called Darkside was stripped, then forced to leap to death from a high bridge. Now, basically, what happened was a game master took control of this character with all of the videos that were submitted, from all the videos that were submitted, from all of the reports that were submitted. The ArenaNet security head Chris Cleary identified the player behind Darkside. He said in a forum post explaining what action had been taken. He took over the account to carry out the punishment. So the punishment was sparked, commentary from several Guild Wars players stating that it was some sort of justice. So not only did they just do that, but basically this character was logged in at the time. From what I understand, they were logged in, so they took control of the character while the person was at their computer, and you could, that makes me think of the angry German kid or whatever, angry, videos are like, rah, 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 I could just see the rage.
Like
I could just
what?
sense it. Huh?
Like what, Norgoz?
The angry German kid videos.
No, what
Or
was
Russian
the
or
noise you
whatever.
made?
Huh?
What was the noise you made?
That
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Alright.
that one. That's how they work.
one.
Okay.
So,
That's kind of racist against Germans, isn't it?
No, I'm just telling you what happened on the video, okay? It's what it's called in the video, whatever, I don't know.
So anyway, moving on to what the point is that he took control of the character while the guy was watching this. He had no control over it. He gets killed, and then his account, as well as any sub accounts that were owned by this person or paid by this person, were completely banned and eradicated. Could not log in again. Congratulations to the Guild Wars community for putting together all of that data so that the security team could do that. Do we have any really quick comments before we move on to question of the week?
I think that's hilarious. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I want there
think
to
it's
be a
pretty cool.
standard thing for all video games to do to people that they're about to ban, and I want there to be somebody whose sole job in the company is executioner. That will be their
Executioner.
title on their nameplate. Executioner. I will
Yeah.
make you leap to your death band, sir.
I think they should advertise it and say like every Saturday night at 10 o'clock there's going to be a round of
Exactly.
Seeger's executions. So exactly.
Even better, gladiatorial arenas between two people who are going to get banned. Winner doesn't get banned. Who can out hack the other?
Yeah, right. So you're talking about wait, what is it? Is it Thunderdome? What is it from that
Yes, it's a
frickin'
Thunderdome.
Oh, yeah, full on
Two
Thunderdome.
hackers
Like,
enter, one hacker leaves.
You want Zero to leave though.
No,
what
different
the
reference.
God.
I'm not
No,
even.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not even talking about the Thunderdome though. I'm thinking of. I know the Thunderdome. I'm thinking of what is that from Idiocracy? What is it?
Oh, I forgot.
That
I don't know.
frickin' like not roller dirt, like this demolition derby thing or whatever. Frickin' like candy bar comes out of retirement, whatever the hell the guy's name is. Hershey Kiss or some bullshit like that. Anyway, Damien.
I was just gonna say I wish that they would do this like you guys were saying like in game more often, especially if you have like an RP server or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But just like I mean I was thinking of a couple cool ideas like a GM could appear as like Death or something and just kill him and it'd be public and it'd also be doing it publicly in game like that. is a good way to scare people not to hack. You know, it's like I just saw this guy while I was running in the field get banned for hacking, and I watched Death chop his head off. It was crazy, and I'm never gonna hack because that's terrifying.
Have a GM be
well, yeah.
invisible and take like a snapshot of it and put it up as a texture in the actual game with like a "this could be you."
Or just turn their heads into a giant penis. That'd be a good deterrent too.
Wait a minute. You're not Norgoz. What the fuck?
Well, no, I'd definitely like to see this in more gaming communities, to see the company being more interactive with them, and seeing them hand out punishments like that, so you can see, you know, there's kind of is a justice system against hackers rather than they don't care. I guess another game that comes to mind to me is EverQuest 1. When they would jail players, they would drop them in a maze, like a gigantic labyrinth, and they would let you, if you made it out, you're free, you're good to go. But most players couldn't get out of it. Like maybe like 2% of the players could figure their way out because EverQuest 1 didn't have maps. Players had to draw their own maps if they wanted one, or you just had to memorize the world. And I just think that's a cool thing to do, to have like a public punishment kind of thing. So
I like it. Yeah, I like that.
All right. So we do have a couple things to go into, and we're going to get out of here. So we've come to a close on pretty much all of our topics this week. Now, you guys know what time it is?
Gauze in 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
I do.
It's time for Phyrus to pick up his phone. Thank God! Yay! Hooray!
Somebody with a timer that's
Wait.
visible.
Hang on. Wait,
Yay.
I got it. Yay! All right, he's got his timer. So we just doubled up on our claps just then. That's awesome. Okay, so give me.
Ready?
Hang on.
Give me stank. I'll put some stank on it.
Put some stank on it.
I need stank.
Okay,
You
okay.
really need to get
Wait.
your mother out of somewhere. Just
All right, I'm gonna
crack open
click
a
on
fucking
Phyrus so
stank.
we could see his little timer here. It's the timer's got. All right, and go. And go.
There we go.
Are we going yet? Okay. DirectX 12 has been announced with standalone graphics cards can be used in unison with motherboard GPUs. Are we going to be able to see SLI between NVIDIA and ATI cards or AMD cards? Let's find out in the future. Good old game. It looks to be a future potential competitor against Steam. They have a few features that Steam doesn't, and potential cross-play ability between GOG and Steam very well could be a potential contender. Nintendo's coming to Universal Studios theme parks. There's not been a theme park yet announced, and not yet been a specific attraction announced, but we're all kind of we kind of want penis. Like, I have no time left. Yooka-Laylee is a 3D platformer that is on Kickstarter. There's a lot of shit. Shut up! Stop that! Who did that? Blizzard's losing money, losing subs. A hacker got punished in game by a dev. We're done. We're done. I hate all of you. I really do.
That was the worst guys in 60 seconds.
That was the worst one ever. That was the worst one. That was the worst one. Stop drawing on my face! Stop drawing on my face. What the hell? Stop it. Stop
You're
it.
crying.
That's my
crying.
tears.
I'm so sad.
Stop it. Alright, so our question of the week. This week's question of the week is going to be... Wait a minute, what the fuck? We don't have our question of the week listed here.
We have it
Really?
listed.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, we have a... Really? We have a thing
Yeah.
here. We have a whole fucking topic we didn't cover.
No, it's not a topic. Just
Okay.
go with the question.
What? Shut up! Leave me alone! I
mean,
suck at
time.
hosting. I know this. You don't have to point it out to me every time I say something wrong.
Dr. McGilligan, he's pointed out. No, I'm kidding.
I love you guys. So, what hero, villain, or story arc would you like to see in a Telltale game from Marvel? Because Telltale Games announces their partnership with Marvel. What hero, villain, story arc would you like to see in a Telltale game? Go.
I'll start. I've always been a huge fan of Nightcrawler, so I would love to
Nice.
see his origin story from back. I think he started in Germany. His name is Wagner, I believe. And he was like going through the circus and stuff like that. I'd like to see that story line progression, the origin story, and how he comes to join the X-Men. I think that'd be something that I'd be interested in seeing. I don't know how exciting it would be or what kind of twist they could make it to get it to that level, or possibly throw it in with a couple different X-Men and bring their origin stories together. So that would be my idea.
Well, I gotta say, I want to see something from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, now a lot of you guys probably know them best from the movie that just came out recently, but they were the first Marvel comic I ever actually read, and they, don't get me wrong, the movie was amazing, but some of the stuff they've done, absolutely awesome stuff. They open up the entire cosmic galaxy. They're basically the Avengers of the cosmic side of Marvel. And there's so many amazing stories to tell in the cosmic universe of Marvel that you'd never even see on Earth. And I think there's just so much potential for the studio who's done Sam and Max, and the newest being the Tales from the Borderlands. They just have so much potential there that I know they'd tap into and make a beautiful original story out of. So I would love to see them do Rocket Raccoon. They'd get Drax the Destroyer, of course Peter Quill.
Wow.
Maybe they could do so much awesome stuff with that.
That's a really really good one. I could, you know what? I think that would be a really smart move for them. I completely agree 110%. That would be a very, very good story. I could actually, the more you talked about it, because in Game of Thrones, you play, was it 4 or 5 characters from House Forrester? I could see them doing the exact same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. You play with the 4 or 5 different people from the Guardians of the Galaxy. They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. That would make perfect sense. I could definitely see them doing something like that.
Plus, it's so expandable in a way that they could make their own original story with characters that wouldn't even exist in like a Marvel Earth
Yeah, they could.
series, you know? Like they could just come up with so much random crap, and it's like, oh, that's okay. It's cosmic. They can get away with it.
Yeah, and they could also do it in seasons like they've done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Walking Dead, where they could focus on one character at a time. They could do that with the X-Men origin stories as well. Like I was thinking, but
Ooh,
I didn't
yeah,
think
that would
about
be good.
make it episodic like that. So you could like do first one on, Nightcrawler, do the next one on like Psylocke or Shadowcat.
Wolverine
You know,
or something. Yeah.
some of the lesser known ones. I think
Psylocke.
that'd be pretty cool.
I love Psylocke.
You know, I like Gambit. Give me a Gambit one, and I'm all on
Gambit.
board. He's a badass.
He'd be cool, yeah.
Or Jubilee.
Talk about firecracker fingers? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
The most worthless X-Men
You
ever.
are the worst one.
Jubilee.
Basically, all she did was she just basically just shot mace out of her fingers. That's pretty much what it was. It was basically like a hot mace. That's
Oh,
it.
she wishes it was Mace.
Then she'd be actually effective at doing something, you know.
All right. Cage?
I'd like to see them. I don't want them to be focused just on one specific character, I guess, but I'd like to see them focus more on. Again, it's kind of piggybacking off of what Phyrus had already said, but I'd like to see the origins of teams coming together, the stories of how they get there. Particularly, like the Avengers shows a lot of things, but I guess I would like. I can't really say my answer without spoilers. So the future of the Avengers, you'll eventually see them in the movies. I would like to see them based off that, Infinity Gauntlet and whatnot.
I see.
Especially the way Marvel branches their stories with, how they have their like alternate realities and whatnot. So they'd allow you to play down multiple different storylines or decisions that would actually change the way the story goes.
Right. Yeah, because like the Guardians of the Galaxy, as I was saying before, the movie is definitely in an alternate universe from the comics, no question, because of how they did it. But that's fine because multiverse, deal with it. So you could get away with a lot, which is really nice.
Damien.
I don't personally like Telltale games.
I know you don't, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna go with Juggernaut, and I just want to burst into rooms screaming, "I'm the Juggernaut!" That'll be the whole game. And it'll just be like you'll get a dialogue option, and it'll be "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch" or "I'm the Juggernaut." Bitch. you can figure out which storyline needs you where. That'd be the way.
Slightly different inflections. I'm the Juggernaut,
Yeah.
bitch. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
The other
I'm
option,
the Juggernaut.
the other option is, do you use the door or the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be hilarious. He walks up to the door and actually opens the fucking door,
Yeah.
walks through the door, closes said door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch."
Bitch.
Or just-
It'd be like high sights. It'd be like high sights when you've got the whole chapter on Groot. Just think of all the different selections in speech bubbles that you could pick for him. You'd be like, I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Those three options show up every time. There's a chance for your character to say something.
And then you'll get the response like, such and such didn't like that answer, or,
He will remember that.
Exactly.
I would hope so.
Remember that you were lying. I didn't
I'm
mean to
the
lie. I just
Juggernaut,
said
bitch.
All
Such
right.
and such will remember that. You seemed uncertain.
Okay. Mine is going to be Blade.
Yes.
Blade. I want to see Blade. I want to see Blade. I love Blade. You could even do a crossover with Spider-Man. I mean, Blade is an awesome, awesome story. It's something that they haven't done a lot of recently since, Wesley Snipes and Blade and the Blade trilogy. I mean, I want to see more Blade.
Series, but
Gotta have more Blade.
Got an animated series.
Well, there is also the series with the rapper. I can't remember his name. He actually did a pretty good job. I'll give him that. That wasn't bad. But when I think of Blade, I immediately think of Snipes. I'm sorry. With respect to the rapper, he did a good job. I think Snipes. I want more Snipes. Gotta have more Snipes. It's kind of like get more cowbell. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
With all that in mind, I think that brings us to a close. And you guys have been awesome hanging out with us. For those of you watching live on Twitch, and for those of you who are not watching live and you're watching us on YouTube, we love you guys just as much. Listen to us on the SoundClouds and the iTunes and something else that I can't remember at this point. Stitcher, thank you. Stitcher. And we will love you guys just as much. If you want to watch us live, we're at twitch.tv/Heroes Hideout at 5 p.m. Pacific District Time on Saturdays. So this is your guest host, Norgoz, and the rest of the guys signing off. Say bye, fuckers.
Bye-bye.
Bye, fuckers.
Bye, fuckers.
All right. Take care,
I'm the
everybody. Thank you again.
Juggernaut.
Bitches.
I am Groot.
I am.
I'm Groot.
Hodor.